I'm JD Hulsey, pipeline coordinator for the Gulf Coast region. This week they're doing a pipeline OQ course for laborers. They're learning basically pipeline 101, all the basic knowledge that they need to get out on the job and be successful. And it is basically the bare bones of what they need to know. Well, yesterday they were out here learning how to build crotches and slides to be able to lay the pipe on, and right now they're learning how to band it up once they're done. Once they pick up all the skids off the right of way, they have to band it up to be able to transport the skids to the next site, how to band everything up and clean up the right of way. If you transport it and they're loose and they could fall out and they could injure somebody, create hazards, pinch points, you know, they got to get it nice and tight and snug so they can transport it, basically. Exactly. Everything we do out here or on the pipeline, it's all about teamwork. You're always going to be with a group of people that you have to work together and problem solve together. So this is an integral part of this training, is working together to figure out a common goal and finish a common goal. You know?
Number one thing is to keep it on your mind that there is something down there, yes. Right? That's the one thing, just don't forget about that.
Well, what they're teaching right now is potholing and probing of utilities, which is important because this is one of the first crews going through a pipeline project, and what they're doing, and they're finding anything underground that we need to engineer our pipe to go under or over. And the importance of this is if they don't find these pipelines that are crossing our right of way, an excavator or a piece of equipment can go through here and track on top of it or dig through it. And if they hit a pipeline that has, say, 500 to 800 pounds of pressure, it's going to be catastrophic. It's going to kill somebody. It's very, very important that this is done right. There's no forgiveness with this at all. They have everybody's life in their hands that is working behind them coming their way. So if they don't do this right, somebody will die or get severely injured.
Yep. Like he did it before. It looks like somebody did it before. So he's making a pathway.
We're just trying to teach the trainees the fundamentals of environmental protection on these projects. There's many different ways to mitigate environmental hazards on a project, but this is just one of them. It's silt fence. And it's probably one of the oldest ways to do environmental mitigation on a project. They call them ECDs, erosion control devices. It just gives them a core understanding of what they're going to be up against when they get on a job and how to do it properly. It's protecting the environment, residents, private property, and like I said, every project is different on their specifications. The basic core of it is just protecting everything on the outside of the work area. Gas companies and developers, they have requirements as far as state or federal regulations. It's just important to the contractor to make sure that they uphold those standards and make sure that they're in compliance with every regulation that is handed to them on that project.
The main component is an actual holiday detector. Pass it around, get a feel for it.
A Jeep is a holiday detector, and it's what we use on pipelines. You're trying to check for defects or anomalies or holidays in the coating on a pipeline. That way, before we put it in the ground, like they're finding right there, you would patch with 2-part or some kind of approved materials to cover up that anomaly or that holiday. That way you keep the pipe from corroding. It's a corrosion control technique, and you got to do it before you put it in the ditch. Yes, it's all labor's work.
Goal of a whip check is to keep both in place.
This was a sandblasting. Part of the sandblasting coating crew on a pipeline project is very labor intensive, and they go through in a chain and they'll go through there and sandblast and coat each and every joint that's welded up. It protects against corrosion. Every joint is going to be bare steel when you weld it up, so you got to sandblast that, get all the rust and contaminants off there before you coat it, and that keeps the pipe from corroding out, and it makes it last for years and years and years to come.
That track is moving, that pipe's moving, we're gonna have a tagline on it, right?
Here you see training on pipe stringing, which is a very important part of the pipeline construction process because it helps stage the pipe in correct sequence for when it is welded. Here you see a track hoe and a belt using to move the pipe around. A belt is good because it helps prevent any damage to the pipe or the coating, and it's very important, as you can see in this video, proper placement of the belt, because that's going to depend whether the pipe's going to be balanced or not when you're moving it from point A to point B. And that's very important because you don't want to drag the pipe on the ground or through the mud or the dirt or anything like that, because that also helps prevent coating damage on the pipe. The trainees have learned how to build skid sets, and right here they're building a crotch to put the pipe down in a crotch.
They'll pull those staples right out. I want the barbed wire
to be on my side of the pasture where my animals are. I want to try to keep them in here.
All right, so right now what we're doing is we're installing an H-brace fence. This is important because it controls livestock for the landowner on a pipeline. The job is to protect the animals from going out and keeping them inside of the fence.